Hi, good afternoon. I'm speaking to you on Saturday, the 6th of March. My name is Fikar Lewin. I've been working with the English language students who've been stuck in Ireland during the pandemic since just about a year ago. We started with some surveys to talk about the problems being faced, represented those problems to government and had some responses. Some of you may be familiar with our work, others may not. And then we formed ELSU, English Language Students Union of Ireland, and we have been active around issues like visas, extensions, teaching, online classes, quality of online classes, the wishes of the students, etc., etc. Some of you may be more engaged than others, but in any case, I'm here to give you an update about particularly the lines of work that a lot of our English language students on Stamp 2 visas have found themselves in during the pandemic, especially since the lockdowns when the restaurants, etc., are closed. There aren't many lines of work available. So a lot of our people, a lot of people in the Stamp 2 category and in other stamp categories have been working in delivery work, like Deliveroo, Uber Eats, and Just Eat. In recent months, following some tragedies and regular violence against delivery workers, there's been a lot of focus put on what are the problems, what the solutions need to be. So along with many others, I've been working with delivery workers, trying to make sure that the problems are being paid attention to at all levels of government, and not just in the country, in government, but also opposition, the trade unions, Dublin City Council, and the embassies as well. So we had a meeting with the new Brazilian ambassador to Ireland last week, among others such as senators, TDs, diputados, people in parliament. And we've actually, based on the data and the briefing document that we've created, we've managed to create some focus, which is welcome. We want to thank everyone who pays attention to this matter, regardless of party affiliation or anything like this. I repeat, Ireland's a small country where everyone knows each other. So it's important to have a broad coalition when a serious issue like this, like public safety and people not feeling safe going to work and feeling exploited, when this comes to light. So in any case, I just want to give people an update that in the last month particularly, we've been working with a solid group of delivery riders, a lot of whom are English language students in the Stamp 2 category too, talking about the problems, talking about the solutions that could make things better. When speaking with the Gardaí, when speaking with Dublin City Council, as I said, and other politicians. We organised a group of people, about 70 people or so have been involved so far. We're all the time getting more and more people involved, talking about the issues around the precarity of their employment, how dangerous it is, how people get attacked, they're targeted, how they don't always have the cover, they're not always covered by insurance, how the companies don't take responsibility as they should, as the law says, and how the business model has been developed. And we've also been made aware of decisions made in courts in the UK regarding Uber, and in the Italian courts regarding Deliveroo. Now, I'd just like to say, on the basis of those rule changes or decisions, there will be changes in the law across Europe and in Ireland, because this law is applicable law in Ireland. So that's very important to have in mind, that the law around delivery work in particular, and the apps that are used, like by Deliveroo, Just Eat, and Uber Eats, that will change one way or another, sooner or later, probably sooner, because we're already seeing how they adapt. And because it's the main line of employment for so many people, it's really important that the people who are working in those jobs are at the table with their voices being heard. So we've been organising, ELSU's been working with many others, Migrants' Rights Centre of Ireland, Irish Network Against Racism, Immigrant Council of Ireland, and more recently we've had the support of SIPTU, which is the largest trade union in Ireland. Now, when I say trade union, I mean union as in not a students' union like ELSU, where we are mostly focused on student issues, which mostly educational, but also some surrounding issues around the student experience. But a trade union like SIPTU, and SIPTU is the biggest trade union, takes care of every situation where there's somebody working, regardless of the fact whether the employer recognizes them, whether it's a direct contract or an indirect contract. Basically, if you're doing the work, you need to be protected, you need to be insured, you need to be paid properly. And that's why it's been really important recently that we've been having lots of meetings. And a lot of people have got involved. I'd like to thank the people who've been involved already. It's been great. Made some great new friends, as well as learning a lot from each other. But it's really important for people to know, as I said, in Ireland, this is a small place, a small country. Sometimes the countries we come from, bigger countries where there's more of a division between who supports unions, it's very much either a left thing or a right thing or whatever. It's important to know in Ireland, it's not really like that, is that everyone knows each other, and unions are central to how all decisions are made when it comes to work. So it's not really a left or right matter per se. It's about everyone having their opinion and voting in that process as members of a union when those decisions come up. And now at the moment, there are major decisions that will be made about your line of work if you're a delivery worker. Now, we've been doing a lot of work on this for a long time, and we're really glad to have the support of SIPTU. They have supported the students and the workers' requests for visa extensions for at least a year, for the ability to work for 40 hours, not just 20 if you're stamp 2, because we're in the middle of a global pandemic, and be asking certain people in our society to fight with one arm behind their back is just not fair. You came here to learn, you came here to be treated with dignity, and you cannot be stuck with rules that don't suit you. You're the customer, you're the consumer, you're the student. You need to be able to learn in ways that suit you and make you enthusiastic about learning, not feeling fearful. So we're asking for the lifting of the restrictions of the requirements for attendance, mandatory 85% attendance, because we're seeing that this is having a big impact on people's mental health, well-being, and people are living in fear and great precarity. And we can't have that here in Ireland, I'm sorry. And I think across the board, people agree that this cannot be allowed to continue. So we've been shining a light on these issues. And because Ireland is such a small place, we have been granted a meeting next Tuesday with the Tánaiste, who's the Deputy Prime Minister of Ireland, former Taoiseach Prime Minister of Ireland, Mr. Leo Varadkar, who is the leader of the Fine Gael party as well. He is the Minister for Enterprise, Trade and Employment, or the Minister for Jobs. He and his team have kindly offered to meet with us, representatives of the riders, ELSU, SIPTU, and people from Migrants' Rights Centre of Ireland, Immigrant Council of Ireland, and Irish Network Against Racism will also be there. So we're preparing for that meeting, and it's very important to be as prepared as possible. So this weekend, we are asking people to get involved. It's really important. We're distributing leaflets, which can be downloaded as well from the ELSU website, elsu.ie, elsu.ie. You can both read there on the homepage what the situation is, and there is a button at the bottom where you can download the PDF flyer. You feel free to print it, distribute it, share it yourself. But we also have paper copies that can be distributed. We want to make sure that people understand that this is not a case of you're either for a set list of ideas that have already been decided. Those of us who've been involved already have come up with 6 demands. But the more people get involved, the more people who raise their voices, the more we will be able to develop these demands and make sure that they suit everybody, the most people possible. And just so we're asking people to get involved, not to join a set agenda that's already been agreed, but to participate in that decision-making process with us, and particularly through the SIPTU system. So as I said, in Ireland, when the government makes decisions that affect workers, they don't talk to individual workers like you, me, somebody else. They engage with the unions. It's the only way they do it, because unions like SIPTU, Unite, and others like Forza, they have what they call a negotiating license with the government. So decisions can only be made through them, and the government recognizes them as the partner for such talks. Now, we've got a great opportunity on Tuesday. We've got to get organized for that. And we are attending on Tuesday, but we need to get people involved, and it's really important that people sign up and get involved with us, but most importantly with SIPTU, SIPTU.ie. It's the largest union in Ireland, and it's as old as the Irish state, and its origins are fundamentally intertwined with the origins of the Irish state and our independence. You can do your own research on that. But we're very grateful for their help. They're preparing us, but we need people to get involved. And the more people get involved, the stronger a case we will have. So if you go to the ELSU.ie website, there's a link to how to join SIPTU. It's very important that people do. Membership starts at only €1 a week. And that's the only commitment you have to make right now. 1, 2, 3, whatever your wage category is, you become a member. And they have access to lawyers. They have access to training, education, resources. They have a lot of experience in negotiating with the government. Doesn't matter who the government is. Whoever the government is has to respect SIPTU and what they say. So it's not just a matter of a couple of us individuals come together on an issue now. It's much bigger than that. So we're asking people to get involved. We're asking people to distribute leaflets. We're asking people to talk to their friends about this. And we remind them that you may have your own experiences from your own countries. Like in Brazil, you might associate unions or sindicatos with one political party or another. And it's just not like that over here. It's just not. So it's not necessarily an ideological thing. It's a thing of, it's a matter of practicality. So it is important. And for those who are facing uncertainty, for those who don't know if there will be another visa extension, as we have asked politely for a long time, for a year's extension, we're going to have to ask a little bit louder now. And that's part of why I'm making this video today. This is about making sure that those who work in delivery and those who want to work in delivery can do so safely and with their own account. That we change the law or make sure that people can be directly employed and that their connection with the employer is recognized by the government, by the law, and you pay only the taxes that you need to, and you don't have to pay to rent an account to somebody else. And with that, you get insurance, you get protection, and everything else that you need and you deserve as a worker in Ireland. It doesn't matter about anything else. If you're doing the work, you're a worker, and you need to be respected as such. So I'm thanking you for taking the time to listen to this video. I wish I could communicate to other people in their own native languages right now, but I'm gonna just ask those of you who can translate into Portuguese, Spanish, Turkish. We have people working in delivery from Romania, Mauritius, all over the world. And they're the children of a family just like yours, very far from home, and people are worried. And those of us who are Irish need to remember our own experience, the experience of the emigrant, far away from home, during times that are uncertain. So I'm asking you, please, go to the website elsu.ie. There you will find a link to SIPTU.ie and how you can join up. Your data is safe with SIPTU. They treat your data as the bank treats money. It is safe, it is not shared. But with that, you have all of the protections that they can offer. And they've been very kind to support our requests. We need to build this alliance, we need to get stronger. So please, it's not a big, long commitment. For as long as you're in Ireland, and as long as you're a member of SIPTU, they have your back. So thank you very much. Again, I'll put the links to the websites below. Any questions, please feel free to email info@elsu.ie, info@elsu.ie, and we stand ready to answer your questions and get more and more people involved. Thank you very much. Thanks for taking the time, and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye.